Good evening on this eve of New Year's Eve. I'm Pastor Mark from BrantNaz, Brantford Church of the Nazarene. And as we come to the end of one year and begin a new year, it's often a time when we start to reflect on what happened in the past year, what we've gone through in the past year, and we look forward and try and envision some of the future with us. Well, I think that there's no denying that 2020 has been a wacky and challenging year for us. We were basically broadsided by this COVID pandemic, and I'm not sure there's many, if any of us, who would have thought that 9 months later we'd still be in the midst of it, not knowing where the end of it is. But as we go through this, we don't know what the future holds for us with it and how long it'll last. Now, there's some bright news on the horizon of this vaccine, but who knows what it's going to hold for us to do that. And then there's, as if we needed some distraction over this past year, the election year unfolded on the border, south of the border with us, where the election unfolded to give us entertainment with that. And locally in the news here, just today it was reported that our mayor, David Bailey, he was reported as saying 2021 can only be better than 2020. And I'm sure lots of us would say that, would hope that he's right in saying that. He said part of the reason he feels that, he says the bar wasn't set too high in 2020. 2020 didn't set the bar too high, so hopefully 2021 is even better than that. But in many ways, it has indeed been that kind of year for us that we have gone through. I heard one person say that on New Year's Eve, they're going to stay up till midnight just to make sure that 2021 leaves and doesn't hang around any longer than it has to do. Nonetheless, notwithstanding our challenges of 2020, I am confident that we could reflect back and see some good things that have happened in our lives and in the lives of our loved ones as we look back on 2020. Maybe we could even almost tongue-in-cheek say, we could say it's a positive thing that we survived the pandemic. We've come through it so far. My young granddaughter, she's in preschool, and at the end of this spring session, her teachers had her hold up a sign that says, "I survived the pandemic." Well, maybe we could look at that as a positive of the last year. I've survived the pandemic so far. A new phrase was coined in 2020, or at least one that was new to me, and it was caremongering. If fear-mongering is instilling fear into the life of somebody else, caremongering was a movement to encourage others to do acts and perform acts of kindness towards other people, especially those who are most vulnerable or have a need, that you sense they have a need. Over this past year, I heard of a number of times where people were stepping up and paying it forward. Primarily in the realm of fast food restaurants and drive-thrus, they would pay for the person behind them. But I did hear recently of one situation where someone left $1,000 tip at a restaurant on an $80 bill. $1,000 tip on an $80 bill. When they were located and said, "Why did you do that?" They said, "I just felt our server had a need, so we met the need this year of all needs." I read a few weeks ago of an account where someone drove from Georgia, a family was driving from Georgia to Alaska to be with their father and their husband up in Alaska. And as they came to the border in British Columbia and Washington State, they were given so much time to make it up to Alaska. But being from Georgia, they really had no idea what they were facing in November for weather. And when they got partway up, they basically got stranded. And I read of the account where somebody heard of them getting stranded and came to the rescue and drove that family up to the border of Alaska so that they could get into Alaska. Like, what an amazing thing to do. I think it took at least 2 days drive to get them up there. So it was just great of how they did that. And I'm sure that the stories could go on and on of what happened. Some of you may have been blessed this past year, and an encouraging thing that happened is you got to work at home, and meant you spent some more time with your family that you normally wouldn't have been able to spend. But certainly we know there have been challenges in 2020. Sometimes some of us may have felt overwhelmed by those challenges, but we're not denying the type of year it was. But we do need to remember, in the midst of that, we need to remember the good times, the good things that happened to us. And as we look forward to 2021, who knows what it's going to hold for us as we do that. possibly there are some things that we can reasonably expect to happen, but then there could be other things that could come along that we have no idea it's going to happen. Like the pandemic came upon us this year. We have no idea it's coming. Some of those will possibly be good things. Some of those not so good things. But as we go into 2021, I want to encourage you with two things. First, I want to encourage you with this. Be kind. Let's be kind this coming year. As I mentioned, that phrase just a second ago of caremongering, not going into caremongering got going in 2020, so let's keep it going for 2021. One of the negative things I heard from this past year is people who were acting negatively to some of the COVID policies, particularly in public spaces where you had to wear masks, and they were taking out their frustration and their anger on often the employees of the businesses, whether they be retail stores or whether they be restaurants, and it was often the employees that were taking the brunt of that. Well, let's try and outshine those challenging times for those people with some positive things for them to do that. Let's outshine them and perform those acts of kindness to bless someone else. You may say, well, I really don't have anything to offer. We've all got our words. It's amazing how simple have a good day or hello will go with somebody. I can remember a few years back I was flying, and when I was flying, the flight attendant, she asked me what I'd like to drink, and I'd say, I would like a Coke, please, or could I have a Coke, please? And she turned away to get me the Coke, and then she turned back to me and she says, thank you for using a full sentence. It was just amazing how it's just a simple thing like that. I didn't deliberately use it to encourage her. I just spoke in a full sentence, I guess. But how short people can be and how much we can even encourage people with our words. So let's commit ourselves in 2021 to being kind. But let's also, as we look ahead to 2021, I want to encourage us to trust in the one who holds the future. Trust in the one who holds the future. Someone has said, I don't know what the future holds, but I know who holds the future. I don't know what the future holds, but I know who holds the future. The Bible tells us that God will never leave us nor forsake us. It doesn't matter what we go through, even a pandemic, He is there with us. He doesn't always take us out of the storm. Sometimes He leaves us in the storm, but He goes with us through that storm always. He doesn't just leave us on our own. So I would encourage us in the coming year is to lean on Him who is always with us. And if you'd like to know more about having assurance on how to know that God is with you, I would encourage you can message us through our Facebook page, or you can contact us on our website. On the home page of our website, right at the very bottom is our phone number and our address is there. You can do that, and that's at BrantNaz.com, either Facebook page here or at BrantNaz.com. You can get hold of us to do that. So as we enter 2021, commit yourself to show kindness to others and commit yourself to staying close to the Lord as He is with us in every situation. May He bless you, may He keep you, and may you know that He is with you. Happy New Year and all the blessings to you in 2021. See you then.